Unit 1. Word list. Agree. To agree is to have the same opinion or belief as another person.
The students agree they have too much homework.
Alcohol. Alcohol is a type of drink that can make people drunk.
A person should not drive a car after he or she has been drinking alcohol.
Arrive. To arrive is to get somewhere.
They arrived at school at 7 a.m.
August. August is the 8th month of the year.
Is your birthday in August?
Boat. A boat is a vehicle that moves across water.
There is a small boat on the lake.
Breakfast. Breakfast is the morning meal.
I ate eggs for breakfast.
Camera. A camera is a piece of equipment that takes pictures.
I brought my camera on my vacation.
Capital. A capital is a city where a country's government is based.
The capital of the United States is Washington, D.C.
Catch. To catch is to grab or get something.
Did you catch the ball during the baseball game?
Duck. A duck is a small water bird.
People feed ducks at the lake.
Enjoy. To enjoy is to like something.
The woman enjoys riding her bicycle.
Invite. To invite is to ask someone to come to a place or event.
I will invite my friends to my birthday party.
Love. To love is to like something or someone a lot.
I love my family very much.
Month. A month is one of the 12 periods of time in 1 year.
January is the first month of the year.
Travel. To travel is to go to a faraway place on vacation or business.
They will travel to Argentina this summer.
Typical. If something is typical, it is normal, or something that usually happens.
My typical breakfast is toast and eggs.
Visit. To visit is to go and spend time in another place or see another person.
She wants to visit her grandmother.
Weather. Weather is the temperature and the state of the outdoors.
Today's weather is rainy and cloudy.
Week. A week is a period of time that is 7 days long.
What are you doing next week?
Wine. Wine is an alcoholic drink made from grapes.
The store carried both red and white wine. The Amalfi Coast. The Amalfi Coast in Italy is a beautiful place to travel. It's a beautiful area with an interesting culture. Located on the Tyrrhenian Sea next to the Mediterranean in southern Italy, the Amalfi Coast has high mountains and amazing beaches. Amalfi is on the west coast of Italy, and it takes less than 4 hours to drive there from Rome, the country's capital. You'll love it from the moment you arrive there. There are many activities for travelers, including beautiful beaches for swimming. You can also play games on the beach and catch frisbees. A boat trip is a good way to spend the day, and you may see ducks and other birds sitting on the water. Fishing is also a popular activity. There are dozens of villages on the Amalfi Coast, and you can visit one of them to see how a typical local person lives. If you're friendly, You might even get invited into someone's house to enjoy home-cooked Italian food. Italians like drinking alcohol, especially wine. The Amalfi Coast has lots of gardens to explore. Italy is famous for its pizza and pasta. However, the Amalfi Coast is also well known for fish and octopus because it is located next to the water. Pastries are a popular breakfast food on the Amalfi Coast. August is a popular month to travel to the Amalfi Coast because the weather is warm. It's easy to spend a week traveling around the area. Make sure to take a camera so you can take a lot of photos. We're sure you'll agree that it's a great place.
Unit 2. Word list. Adventure. An adventure is a fun or exciting thing that you do.
Riding in the rough water was an adventure.
Approach. To approach something means to move close to it.
The boy approached his school.
Carefully. Carefully means with great attention, especially to detail or safety.
The baby carefully climbed down the stairs.
Chemical. A chemical is something that scientists use in chemistry.
The scientist mixed the chemicals.
Create. To create means to make something new.
She created an igloo from blocks of snow.
Evil. Evil describes something or someone bad or cruel, not good.
They felt a strange, evil presence as they got closer to the house.
Experiment. An experiment is a test that you do to see what will happen.
The student did an experiment in science class.
Kill. To kill someone or something is to make them die.
I killed the fly.
Laboratory. A laboratory is a room where a scientist works.
My mother works in a laboratory.
Laugh. Laugh is the sound made when someone is happy or a funny thing occurs.
The sound of her laugh filled the room.
Loud. If a sound is loud, it is strong and very easy to hear.
The man's voice was so loud that we all could hear him.
Nervous. When a person is nervous, they think something bad will happen.
The boy became nervous when he heard the news.
Noise. A noise is an unpleasant sound.
The crying baby made a loud noise.
Project. A project is a type of work that you do for school or a job.
His afternoon work project was to paint the room green.
Scare. To scare someone is to make them feel afraid.
My uncle was scared by what he saw in the room.
Secret. A secret is something that you do not tell other people.
The two boys were sharing a secret.
Shout. To shout is to say something loudly.
My boss shouted at me because I was late for work.
Smell. To smell something means to use your nose to sense it.
The two friends smelled the flower.
Terrible. If something is terrible, it is very bad.
The way he treated his classmate was terrible.
Worse. If something is worse, it is of poorer quality than another thing.
Business was worse this month than last month.
The laboratory. Mia's father had a laboratory, but she had no idea what was in it. Her dad always closed and locked the door when he went in. She knew that he used it to do projects for work. He never told Mia what these projects were. One night, Mia approached the door to the laboratory. She stopped and thought, "I wonder what crazy experiment he is doing now." Suddenly, she heard a loud noise. It sounded like an evil laugh. The noise scared her, so she walked quickly back to her room. The next night, her friend Liz came to her house. When Liz arrived, Mia told her about the night before. "Oh, it was terrible," she said. "Why don't we see what is in there?" Liz asked. "It will be a fun adventure." Mia felt nervous about going into her father's laboratory, but she agreed. As always, the door was locked. They waited until Mia's father left the laboratory to eat dinner. "He didn't lock the door," Liz said. "Let's go." The laboratory was dark. The girls walked down the stairs carefully. Mia smelled strange chemicals. What terrible thing was her father creating? Suddenly, they heard an evil laugh. It was even worse than the one Mia heard the night before. What if a monster was going to kill them? Mia had to do something. She shouted for help. Mia's father ran into the room and turned on the lights. "Oh no," he said. "You must have learned my secret." "Your monster tried to kill us," Mia said. "Monster?" he asked. "You mean this?" He had a pretty doll in his hands. The doll laughed. The laugh didn't sound so evil anymore. "I made this for your birthday. I wanted to give it to you then, but you can have it now. I hope you like it." Unit 3. Word list. Alien. An alien is a creature from a different world.
The alien came in peace.
Among. If you are among certain things, they are all around you.
There was a red apple among the green ones.
Chart. A chart is a list of information.
We used a chart to see how we had improved.
Cloud. A cloud is a group of water drops in the sky.
The sky was filled with white clouds.
Describe. To describe is to say or write what someone or something is like.
They described their tree as colorful, with gold ribbon and a star.
Ever. Ever means at any time.
Going skiing last winter was the most fun I've ever had.
Fail. To fail means you do not succeed in what you try to do.
Since he failed to get the job, he was sad.
Grade. A grade is a score or mark given to someone's work.
I managed to get good grades on my report card.
Instead. Instead means in place of.
He ate the carrot instead of the ice cream.
Library. A library is a place where you go to read books.
The library at school is full of books.
Photograph.
A photograph is a picture taken with a camera.
I took this photograph with my cell phone.
Planet. A planet is a large round thing in space.
Saturn is the planet with the ring around it.
Report. A report is something someone writes for school or work.
Karen had trouble writing her report.
Several. Several is more than two, but not many.
He had to read several books for class.
Shape. An object's shape is the arrangement of its sides and surfaces.
Even with your eyes closed, you can feel the shape of it.
Solve. To solve something is to find an answer to it.
All the students could easily solve the math problem.
Suddenly. If something happens suddenly, it happens quickly and unexpectedly.
I was surprised when my friends suddenly shouted happy birthday.
Suppose. To suppose is to guess.
I suppose I should go home now.
Understand. To understand something, you need to know what it means.
Henry could not understand the message.
View. To view is to look at something.
Michael likes to view himself in the mirror. The report. Lee sat among the books at the library and thought about his group project. They had to turn it in soon, but he hadn't even started his part. Jack and Claire were in his group. They had worked hard. They were also very smart, and Lee didn't want them to get a bad grade. Jack did the report. He wrote a lot of very good sentences and described things clearly and carefully. Claire drew a nice map of the stars. Now, Lee needed to do his part of the project. Well, I suppose I need to start my model, Lee thought. Making a model of a planet was really hard. Lee tried to read several books, but he couldn't understand any of the charts. "We're going to fail because of me," Lee said. He put his head down on the table and said, "I wish I could see a planet and an alien instead of having to read about it." Suddenly, he had a great idea that would help him solve his problem. Why not go on the web and look for photographs of the Earth and other planets taken from space? They would give him a really good view of the planets they had to talk about in their report. Instead of a bad grade, his group would have the best project ever. The photos of Earth showed lots of clouds, but you could still see the shapes of land and seas on Earth. He also looked at photos of Mars. Lee now had plenty of ideas for making a model of the planet Mars. All he had to do was to turn his ideas into a model. He used a small ball to help him make the shape he wanted and then painted it to look like the photos of Mars that he had seen. Sometimes, seeing is much more helpful than just reading.
Unit 4. Word list. Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Avoid. To avoid something is to stay away from it.
Avoid the broken bottle on the floor.
Behave. To behave is to act in a particular way, especially to be good.
She always behaves well when her father is around.
Calm. When someone is calm, they do not get excited or upset.
A nice warm bath makes me feel so calm.
Concern. Concern is a feeling of worry.
I was filled with concern after reading the newspaper.
Content. To be content is to be happy and not want more.
The baby looked very content sitting on the floor.
Expect. If you expect something to happen, you believe it will happen.
I expect the bus to be here very soon.
Frequently. When something happens frequently, it happens often.
We meet frequently, either at the beginning or end of the week.
Habit. A habit is a thing that you do often.
Smoking is a bad habit that can kill you.
Instruct. To instruct is to teach.
My teacher instructs us in several subjects.
Issue. An issue is an important topic.
The men spoke about issues that were important to the people.
None. None means not any of something.
He spent all his money. There is none left.
Patient. If people are patient, they don't become angry or upset easily.
I had to be patient and wait until 5 o'clock to leave.
Positive. If something is positive, it is good.
She has a positive future ahead of her after finishing college.
Punish. To punish means to make someone suffer for breaking the rules or laws.
To punish me, my teacher had me stand in the corner.
Represent. To represent is to speak or act for a person or group.
My lawyer will represent me in court.
Shake. To shake is to move back and forth or up and down quickly.
When people shake hands, it usually means they agree.
Spread. To spread is to move out to cover a larger area.
I like to spread butter on my toast.
Stroll. To stroll means to walk slowly and calmly.
My dog and I strolled through the park today.
Village. A village is a very small town.
There are only a few houses in my village.
The dog's bell. John's dog was a bad dog. He bit people frequently. John was concerned about this. It was not an appropriate way for a dog to behave. His friends in the village always expected the dog to bite them. The news about John's dog spread through the village. None of the people wanted to go to John's house. John tried to instruct the dog to behave, but it never worked. He tried to be patient and teach the dog to be calm. That also didn't work. John didn't want to punish the dog. How will I stop my dog's bad habit? John asked himself. John's friend came to talk to him about the issue. During their important meeting, his friend said, the people in the village asked me to represent them. We want your dog to stop this habit. Why don't you put a bell around the dog's neck? This way, we would hear your dog coming down the street. John thought this was a great idea. Now people could stay away from the dog. It would not be able to bite anyone anymore. The dog liked the bell too. People looked at him when they heard his bell. This made the dog very content. He liked the sound the bell made when he walked. One day, John's dog strolled through the village and met some other dogs. He expected them to want a bell like his, but they laughed at his bell. They said the bell made people avoid him. John's dog shook his head. No, they look at me because they like the bell. The other dog said, "You have the wrong idea about what makes you popular. Of course they like your bell. It tells them where you are, so they can avoid you. You aren't able to bite them anymore." You see, being popular isn't something positive when it's for the wrong reason. Unit 5. Word list. Active. When someone is active, they move a lot or have a lot of things to do.
It is important to be active and not sit around all the time.
Adult. An adult is a person who is more than 18 years old.
My mom and dad are adults.
Age. Age is how many years someone has lived.
She died at the age of 80.
Bad. When something is bad, it is not good.
She is unhappy because she had a bad day.
Balance. Balance is when two or more things are equal.
A good balance between work and fun helps keep you healthy.
Bike. A bike is a vehicle with two wheels powered by a human.
He rides his bike to school every day.
Choose. To choose is to pick something or make a decision.
I have to choose between taking art classes and sports lessons.
Doctor. A doctor is a person who studies medicine and helps sick people.
You should go to the doctor when you are sick.
During. During an event means while the event was happening.
Did you sleep during the movie?
Football. Football is a sport with 11 members and an oval-shaped ball.
Football is a popular sport in the United States.
Fun. When something is fun, it is enjoyable.
We had a fun time at the birthday party.
Game. A game is an activity where people compete against each other.
Let's play a board game tonight.
Heart. A heart is an organ that keeps the body alive.
My heart beats fast when I am nervous.
Golf. Golf is a sport with clubs and a small white ball.
People play golf in nice weather.
Increase. To increase is to make something larger.
I will increase my score if I study for the test.
Life. Life is the time when a person is alive.
My grandfather had a long life.
Kilometer. A kilometer is a unit of measurement that is 1,000 meters.
A marathon is 42.2 kilometers.
Often. Often is when something happens many times.
He often goes to bed early during the week.
Plenty. If you have plenty of something, there is a lot of it.
We have plenty of fruit, so help yourself.
Weight. Weight is how heavy something or someone is.
I gained weight because I ate a lot of pizza. Ironman races. Have you heard of the Ironman triathlon? It's considered one of the most challenging sporting events in the world. Competitors swim, ride a bike, and run. The race consists of a 3.86 kilometer swim, a 180.25 kilometer bicycle ride, and a 42.2 kilometer run. There are no breaks during the race, So competitors must keep going no matter what. People who choose to enter this race must be healthy and prepared in both mind and body. Ironman races are held all over the world. Some well-known competitions take place in New Zealand, Germany, and California in the United States. There are several rules for those who want to compete in the Ironman. The minimum age of racers is 18, so everyone who competes is an adult. Training for the Ironman can take more than a year. People who train often start practicing the events at shorter distances first, and then increase the amount of length and time they swim, bike, and run. Training can be difficult because people need to find a balance of strength and endurance training. Without enough training, people can get bad injuries. Some people even gain weight when training because their bodies store calories instead of using them for energy. All people in training should drink plenty of water. Doctors believe that exercise is good for people's health and helps the heart. People participate in other sports and games such as golf or American football. But the Ironman is a challenging way to stay fit. Even though it is hard, it can still be fun. It's a great way to stay active and enjoy life.
Unit 6. Word list. Apart. When people or things are apart, they are not next to each other.
They moved apart and then came back together.
Attribute. An attribute is a characteristic of a person or thing.
He isn't very clever, but he does have some other positive attributes.
Bilingual. A bilingual person can speak 2 languages.
Since you already know English, after learning French, you'll be bilingual.
Completely. Something completely different is very, very different from before.
I was completely wrong.
Dash. To dash means to run or move quickly.
Helen dashed up the stairs so she wouldn't be late for her appointment.
Disgust. Disgust is a feeling of distaste and anger caused by something rude or unpleasant.
He felt disgust toward his date because she had such terrible eating habits.
Fashionable. Something fashionable is what people like to wear and do now.
It is very fashionable to wear a hat.
Foreign. Something foreign is something we are not used to.
He has traveled widely in foreign countries.
Gulf. A gulf is a gap between people who do not understand each other.
There has been a gulf between James and Tony since their parents died.
Mirror. A mirror is usually made of glass, and you can see yourself in it.
He used the mirror to shine light in their eyes.
Natural. Things that are natural are not made by people.
We need to take care of the natural world.
Nowadays. Nowadays means at the present time.
Nowadays, not so many people smoke.
Participant. A participant is someone who joins in a social event or competition.
There were thousands of participants in this year's marathon.
Ritual. A ritual is a formal custom that people do regularly.
Ken was very interested to learn about the religious rituals of the natives.
Spoken. Spoken language is what we say.
We cannot take back what has been spoken.
Sport. Sport involves games like running, jumping, football, and tennis.
She loves watching sport on TV.
Surprised. You are surprised when something unexpected happens.
He didn't appear at all surprised when he read the article.
Tense. When you are tense, you are not comfortable and feel unhappy.
I felt very tense, waiting to hear the result of the vote.
Totally. If you totally agree, you agree with everything just said.
I am totally against that.
Vague. If something is vague, it is not clear and gives very few details.
I asked him about his mother's health, but he was very vague about it.
The twins. Katie and Alice were twins. They were so alike that few people could tell them apart. They were almost like seeing one person looking in a mirror. They even spoke in the same way as each other. They were best friends. But the twins' attributes were not all exactly the same. Alice preferred sports and was a star athlete in soccer. Katie preferred foreign languages and was bilingual in French. Katie decided to be a participant at a summer camp in France. Alice wasn't interested in the French language, so she didn't go. But she was angry that Katie wanted to spend the summer away from her. 2 months later, Katie returned. Alice dashed to the airport to greet her sister. But when Alice saw Katie, she was surprised. Katie now spoke French, and she looked completely different. She was wearing fashionable clothes, and she looked taller. Alice felt very messy next to her. She was just wearing an old t-shirt, and her hair looked untidy. When Alice asked Katie about France, Katie was vague and didn't say much. It made Alice feel tense and filled her with disgust, because in the past, they'd always told each other everything. Now there was a huge gulf between them. Over the weeks, the sisters spoke even less. 2 months later, it was the twins' birthday. All their lives, they'd had a ritual. Before their birthday, they'd talk all night long. That night, Alice came into Katie's bedroom. "I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you much lately," Katie said. "I understand. You have new friends now," said Alice angrily. Katie said, "My French friends don't write much nowadays. For a while, I thought they were more exciting than my friends at home. But I was wrong. You're my sister, and you'll always be my best friend." Alice said, "I'm sorry too. I wanted our relationship to stay the same forever. But it's totally natural for twins to have different interests. We can still be best friends without being together all the time." Unit 7. Word list. Allow. To allow something to happen means to let it happen.
Having a ticket will allow you to enter the show.
Announce. To announce something is to make it known.
He announced to everyone his new idea for the company.
Beside. Someone or something beside you is next to you.
The two brothers stood beside each other.
Challenge. A challenge is something difficult to complete.
It was a challenge to climb to the top of the mountain.
Claim. To claim means to say that something is true.
He claimed to know why the country's laws were weak.
Condition. The condition of someone or something is the state that they are in.
The patient's condition was very good.
Contribute. To contribute to something means to do something to make it successful.
We decided to contribute money to the new hospital.
Difference. A difference is a way that something is not like other things.
The biggest difference between the birds is the color of their feathers.
Divide. To divide something is to split it into smaller parts.
We divided the pizza.
Expert. An expert is someone who is very good at doing something.
The wizard was an expert at magic.
Famous. A famous person or thing is well known.
The Eiffel Tower in Paris is very famous.
Force. Force is a person's strength or power.
He used all his force to try and open the door.
Harm. To cause harm is to hurt someone or damage something.
A hot iron can cause great harm if you are not careful.
Lay. To lay means to put or place in a horizontal or flat position.
Don't lay your socks on the floor.
Peace. Peace is a time without war.
A white dove is a symbol of peace.
Prince. A prince is the son of a king.
The prince and the princess were married.
Protect. To protect someone is to stop them from getting hurt.
Firemen protect us from fires.
Sense. To sense something is to know about it without being told.
I could sense that he was watching me.
Sudden. When something is sudden, it happens very quickly.
He felt a sudden pain in his chest.
Therefore. Therefore means for this reason.
He is fat. Therefore, he should go on a diet. The best prince. King Minos was very sick. His condition was getting worse. He had 3 sons. He loved them all. He had to announce who would become king. 2 of the princes stood waiting outside the king's room. Theseus was the oldest and strongest. He thought his father would make him king. Peleus, the second son, thought differently. He was an expert in fighting. He thought the king would choose him. When I'm king, Theseus told Peleus, I'll let you contribute to protect our country. You can lead the army. Peleus became angry. Father knows I'm famous for my fighting skills. He'll make me king. You? Theseus said. He won't choose you. The kingdom is mine, Peleus claimed. Father will give it to me, or I'll use force to take it. Theseus made a sudden move to take out his sword. Then Peleus did the same. Beating me will be a challenge, Theseus said. Fight me now. The winner gets the kingdom. Peleus agreed. King Minos could hear his sons fighting. The youngest son, Jason, stood beside him. He sensed his father's sadness. The king laid his hand on Jason's arm. Your brothers fight too much, the king told him. I must protect my kingdom from all harm. They'll divide it between them. The people won't know what to do. There'll be war. I can't allow either of them to be king. Therefore, I'm making you king. Your kindness has always made you special. It's the difference between you and your brothers. You can bring peace. They can't. Then the king died. Theseus and Peleus heard that their youngest brother was king. They were surprised. They realized that their fighting was wrong. It had kept them from saying goodbye to their father. They agreed to have Jason as their king. He was the best choice.
Unit 8. Word list. Accept. To accept something that is offered is to take it.
I accepted the girl's very nice gift.
Arrange. To arrange things is to put them in the right place.
Please arrange the words in order from A to Z.
Attend. To attend something is to go to it.
My sister and I attend the same school.
Chase. You chase people when you run after them and try to catch them.
I was chased by a dog.
Contrast. A contrast is a sharp difference between two things.
The contrast between my parents is very noticeable.
Encourage. To encourage people is to make them want to do something.
My football coach will encourage us when we are losing.
Familiar. People or things familiar to you are those you know well.
The two friends were very familiar with each other.
Grab. To grab is to take a hold of someone or something suddenly.
I grabbed a pear from the tree.
Hang. To hang something is to keep it above the ground.
I drew a picture of my family, and my mother hung it on the wall.
Huge. If something is huge, it is very big.
At work, my father drives a huge truck.
Necessary. If something is necessary, you must do it.
A passport is necessary if you travel to other countries.
Pattern. A pattern is a way in which something is done or organized.
My pattern of brushing my teeth is the same as most people's.
Propose. To propose something is to say that it should be done.
My grandmother proposed that we have our picture taken with Santa.
Purpose. A purpose is the reason that you do something.
The purpose of exercising is to get into shape.
Release. To release something is to stop holding it.
She released the bird from her hands.
Require. To require something is to say that it is necessary.
We require teachers to have a university degree.
Satisfied. You are satisfied when you have what you wanted.
I am very satisfied with your work.
Single. If something is single, then there is only one.
I have a single key in my hand.
Tear. To tear something means to pull it apart.
It is easy to tear paper.
Theory. A theory is an idea about how something works.
We talked about Einstein's theory of relativity in class.
How the sun and the moon were made. Do you ever wonder where the moon and the sun came from? The Inuit people of Alaska have a theory. They tell a story about a beautiful girl. She was very nice. In contrast, her brother was a mean little boy. One day, he proposed something. "We should go to a party," he said. The girl accepted. First, it was necessary for her to get ready. She arranged her hair and put on nice clothes. This required a lot of time, but the girl worked hard and soon she was satisfied. She looked perfect. They attended the party together. The girl was having fun. Later, she walked into the bathroom. Suddenly, the lights were turned off. Someone grabbed her hair and tore her clothes. She ran out of the bathroom. She wanted to know who did this to her. Then she had an idea. She fixed her hair again. This time, it was even more beautiful. She even arranged beautiful jewels in it. She wanted to encourage the person to grab it again. She put black dirt in her hair. The purpose of this was to catch the person. She went to the bathroom again, and it was the same pattern. The lights went off, and someone grabbed her hair. When he released it, his hand was black. The girl returned to the party. She knew there was only a single person with a black hand. When she saw that person, he was very familiar. It was her brother. He ran into the woods. The girl ran after him. They both carried fire so they could see in the dark. The smoke went into the air. As they ran, they grew. They became huge. Then they went into space. When the girl's fire went out, she hung in the sky. She became the moon, and her brother became the sun. They chase each other forever. Unit 9. Word list. Animal. An animal is a living thing that can move.
My favorite animal is the panda.
Bus. A bus is a large vehicle that people travel on.
My father takes the bus to work.
Cat. A cat is a small animal related to lions and tigers that is kept as a pet.
This cat is playing with a ball.
Command. A command is an order given to a person or animal to do something.
Joe gave the students a command to stand up.
Depend. To depend on something is to need it for support or help.
My grandfather depends on a cane when he walks.
Dog. A dog is an animal with 4 legs and a tail that is kept as a pet or trained to work.
This woman's best friend is her dog.
Door. A door is an object that swings or slides open and shut.
Can you close the door, please?
Friend. A friend is someone a person knows and likes spending time with.
Brian's friend is very sad.
Hear. To hear is to be aware of sound through your ears.
Michelle cannot hear what you are saying.
Help. To help is to do something that makes something easier for someone else.
Jane can help Nathan climb up the rock.
Horse. A horse is a big, strong animal that people ride and use for pulling heavy things.
I went to a farm and saw a horse.
Hospital. A hospital is where sick or hurt people receive care or treatment.
The doctor talks to a patient at the hospital.
Leg. A leg is a body part used for standing and walking.
She hurt her leg.
Medical. Medical means related to the treatment of an injury or disease.
Tyler is a medical student studying to become a doctor.
Open. To open is to move something so that an opening is not covered.
Amy likes to open the window to let fresh air in.
Pull. To pull is to hold on to something to move it toward you.
The children pull the rope.
Rabbit. A rabbit is a small animal with long ears that lives in a hole in the ground.
Look at the rabbit in the park.
School. A school is a place where children go to learn.
The students study at school.
See. To see is to use your eyes to look at something or someone.
Stephen does not want to see the scary picture.
Service. Service is the act of helping or serving someone.
This coffee shop has excellent service. Service animals. Have you ever seen a blind person on the bus with a dog? This dog is most likely a service animal. A service animal is an animal that is trained to do things for people who cannot do them alone because of a disability. Dogs are most usually used as service animals because they are intelligent animals. They also have a good sense of smell and can sense dangerous situations. In addition, dogs are easy to train and are loyal to their owners. When they are close to their owners, dogs will do anything to keep them safe. Service dogs are sometimes called guide dogs or hearing dogs. These dogs can help people who cannot see or hear. They are trained to open and close a door, push a button, and listen to a command. These dogs can also help people who have a hurt leg and need to use a wheelchair to get around. Service dogs are strong and can even pull wheelchairs. If these people ever need medical attention, the dogs are trained to bark and get help. Dogs can also be used as therapy dogs. Therapy dogs may visit a school or hospital to help people who are feeling lonely or anxious. Their bad feelings can create health problems. Therapy dogs can provide kindness and love to improve a person's mood, which can then improve that person's health. Although dogs are the most common service animals, there are other animals that can be trained to be service animals as well. You might see a cat, a rabbit, or a horse that is used as a service animal. These animals can keep a person company and become a good friend. Many people depend on service animals for help. Service animals can do jobs that people cannot do alone. And they can help improve the health of people by making them feel happy.
Unit 10. Word list. Benefit. A benefit is a good thing.
Being able to fly is a benefit to birds.
Certain. If you are certain about something, you know it is true.
I am certain that zebras have stripes.
Chance. A chance is an opportunity to do something.
I had a chance to see the Colosseum in Rome last summer.